Hey there, Danny here. Exciting day. I got my AC unit working again in the RV. So we're living back to normal. Next project is the fridge and the generator. And then I'll replace the house batteries before I hit the road once I'm released, after I'm done with all of my therapy, while I'm healing. So I'm going to share with you a few little things. When I come from a single mother, and I've talked about my mom several times on this channel, and watching my mother struggle, I didn't want that for me. So I spent a large amount of time rationalizing with myself that I'm educated, I got YouTube and Google, I can do anything. I've told you about the second husband disappearing, the second ex-husband disappearing. And after he left, there were, I owned an 84 CJ7, which is the 84 in the email that I have down below, because it was my favorite Jeep. I've owned 3 Jeeps, 2 Wranglers, and the CJ, and the CJ was my ultimate favorite. So I owned an 84 CJ7, and my son, oldest son Carlisle, he owned an 85 Pontiac Fiero, and they were older cars. So when it was just him, I, and my youngest son, and we didn't have the money for mechanics, so I fixed the stuff myself. I had help when I needed it. There were a lot of things that I couldn't, I wasn't capable of getting loose. I wasn't capable of breaking some of the nuts and bolts loose and things like that. But I always had one of my kids or one of their friends that I could call, and they'd come and lend me their muscles, as I put it. So before I bought this RV, I rationalized with myself that I really grew a lot of self-esteem, and I really had a lot of pride in the fact that I was able to do these things. I failed admissions, I fixed it, I was able to pass admissions. My self-esteem and self-confidence grew a huge amount when I had to fix those things. Now, don't get me wrong, in the beginning I turned those wrenches crying, and it'd be 110 degrees outside, and I'd be dying of heat and sweating and crying and thinking, oh my God, what am I doing? By the time I got done, something broke. I didn't freak out. Big deal. I'll figure it out. All right, let's get down to it. All we had to figure out was how to get back and forth to work between us. We could care less about the rest of it, because I'll figure it out. So when I went to buy the RV, I figured if the Jeep and the Fiero were able to boost my self-esteem and self-confidence, I said, well, geez, those two things are gonna shoot through the roof with an RV. So I'm gonna share with you some of the things that I've messed up. Before I share those things with you, though, I want to explain to you. Now, when I first started this journey of RVing, a lot of people were like, aren't you afraid? And I'm like, afraid of what? And they were talking to the extent of, you know, a single woman by herself out traveling, was I afraid of predators or whatever else? And I would laugh and say, no, I'm not afraid of that. My sons aren't afraid of that. And they're like, your kids aren't afraid of that? I said, no, my kids are more worried about me because I can do silly, mindless things when I'm trying to fix stuff. I said, so they're worried about me fixing something and breaking something more in the process, which can happen. So when I first bought the RV, I knew nothing about electrical. So probably the first week that I had it, I fried the wires outside that you hook up to, so you can hook up to a house, or you can hook up to any power source, really. I fried the wires. So I had to learn what DC and AC was. Got that fixed. Did it myself. I had help. I did have help. My friend Ed, who lets me use his truck to DoorDash here and there, he's the one that I go to when I have issues, and I don't want him to fix it for me. I want him to supervise so I don't screw it up more. So I hit the road, and then I had a problem with the taillight, which still needs to get fixed. It's fixed, it's just not attached, and I gotta find another way to keep it attached. But that's not a problem. I think I got it figured out. Whatever. That time I was on the road. There wasn't a lot of funding in my pocket, and I got some help from a friend there too. That was over the phone, and on Facebook. I got the help, and I was able to at least make it to my dad's, and then Dad helped me secure it, and then I made it the rest of the way to Wisconsin to my uncle's, and then my Uncle Jerry helped me change out the stuff that needed to be changed out. And then while I was in Oklahoma, well, I should say, let me back up. When I was in Wisconsin, we had some rain, and I discovered that I had some leaks. Oh shit, now I gotta get up there. Okay, so I originally bought the stuff that they tell you to buy, the self-leveling stuff to put on there. I don't like it. I didn't like using it. I use a clear all-weather silicone, and I get up there probably every 6 months or so, if not more, and I go up there and I check out what I need to make sure everything's good. Silicone comes off pretty easily, so I can just peel it off and put new down. I knew going into this that there was going to be a lot of maintenance with the roof and seals and stuff like that, so not a problem. And then so I resealed pretty much everything that I could up there. I'm going to go up and reseal it here soon too, after we get past this heat wave of 117, 118 degree days. Ridiculous. Anyways, so the AC was out, and I had gotten a portable unit, and it wasn't withstanding, and then I got another one. And today, I knew it was popping the breaker, so I knew I needed to replace the breaker switch, because it's a tandem one, so it means there are two on two switches on the one. And I knew I had to replace that because newer breaker switches don't they only last 5 or 6 times that it trips. And it had tripped a few times, and I couldn't figure out why. So I bought the new breaker switch, got the new breaker switch today, put it in, and ran the AC, and it's working. I'm an idiot. You don't use regular filters in an AC, in an RV. So I bought a normal filter. I didn't think anything of it. I figured it would work. It did for a while. Well, they don't really let the hot air go back in to where it needs to go in, and that pretty much is what was causing the breaker to trip. So it was my own self-sabotage, which is what my children are worried about me with, being out on the road on my own. So, AC is back to working. Next thing is the fridge quit working. We'll get that fixed too, because I really think it just needs to be reset. And I've watched enough videos and done enough research that I think I can do it. I'm just too lazy because it's so damn hot. And I'm staying at my friend's house, so I can just go into the house and use that refrigerator instead of, you know, standing out in 117 degree weather trying to try to jump the fridge. We'll just deal with it when it cools off a little bit. Oh, and then I forgot, when I was staying in Oklahoma by my dad, the water heater stopped working. Well, I found out that where it lights, it ignites, you take sandpaper and you have to kind of rub it gently, and gunk gets in there, like dirt and everything else gets in there, especially if you buy a used RV like I did. And I'm sure the people before me didn't live in it full time, so they were only part time in it, and that pretty much pretty much meant that there would be things that I would have to deal with and clean up and fix. And I did it, and it worked. The generator quit working, but I think it just needs an oil change. And a couple of other little things, because I don't know when the last time they did that is, so we're going to take care of that. If not, then we'll get out there and we'll figure out what's wrong with that. I can tell you that when I first started last year with the RV, I was kind of stressed out when things broke a little bit, mainly because my mom had passed in June of 2021. In June of 2022, my aunt, who was like my second mother after my mom passed, she called me every night. We talked all the time, just like my mom and I did. And then she passed. I really wasn't in a state of mind to be handling these, and they really weren't crises, but in my mind they were. So now where I'm sitting now, I'm doing much better, and I'm starting to learn and have a lot more self-confidence and self-esteem when it comes to feeling secure enough to do this. There's some other things that have to be done to it, but I can tell you right now that I got a pretty good deal. This thing really hasn't given me many problems. I got lucky. But I just wanted to share with you some of the silly stuff that I do. Like the one day when I was doing the seal above the what do you call those? Skylights above the shower. I did start kneeling on the skylight and realized as I heard it start cracking, oh shit, don't do that. So it's those type of things that my sons worry about me fixing things, because mom's kind of absent-minded at times and might cause herself more stress before she actually gets it fixed. So I just wanted to share with you some of the silly stuff and how most of what goes wrong is usually operator error on my part. So have a great day. I'm hoping that I will be released soon from medical. I talked to the doctor on Monday and then also the law firm. So hopefully everything's going to be worked out at some point. I really don't care about the settlement as much as I care about being released so I can go and get the hell out of this heat. Okay, so I'll let you guys go for the night. I know, kind of rambling a little bit tonight, but it is called Danny's Ramblings. Alright guys, night, love ya.